I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2016. An Israeli man was attacked at his home in the West Bank this morning by two Palestinian teenagers who were armed with a knife and clubs. The incident took place in the Jewish settlement of Eli when Ro'i Harel opened his front door to leave his house this morning for a month-long reserve duty service and found the two teens waiting there ready to attack. They assaulted him getting into the home. Harel was able to fight them off and push them back out. Harel sustained several stab wounds to his upper body and was said to be in stable condition at Shaarei Tzedek Medical Center. His wife and 5 children who were in the home at the time were unharmed. The two terrorists, identified as 17-year-old Labib Azam and Mohammed Zagalwan from the village of Karyut, had initially hidden when Harel pushed them out of the house. IDF security forces arrived at the scene and the two later emerged, trying to stab other IDF soldiers who they saw. Those soldiers shot and killed the two attackers. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing for a measure that would allow the expulsion of families of West Bank terrorists to Gaza. The Prime Minister is seeking a legal opinion from Israel's Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit, who reportedly rejected such a measure just days ago. Netanyahu wrote to Mandelblit today that I am convinced that such a measure will lead to a significant decrease in the number of terror attacks against the State of Israel, its citizens, and its residents. Army Radio reported Sunday that Mandelblit had ruled out the idea, saying that it goes against Israeli and international law. Israel's government press office announced today that U.S. Vice President Joe Biden will visit Israel next week. Biden is said to arrive Tuesday afternoon for a 2-day trip. Previous reports had pointed to a March visit for Biden aimed at discussing a new long-term agreement on U.S. military aid for Israel. Israel's Speaker of the Knesset, Yuli Edelstein, arrived in Great Britain yesterday. Edelstein addressed both houses of parliament today at the invitation of Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow. Anti-Israel organizations had been protesting the Israeli speaker's visit, including projecting writings onto the wall of the Palace of Westminster, where the parliament meets, telling Edelstein he was unwelcome in the UK, calling him a racist and calling for his arrest. Edelstein remained undeterred. He said yesterday when meeting with UK Foreign Minister Philip Hammond, "Those who hate us don't deter me, and I will speak in front of Parliament members. I will find both supporters and detractors there, and it's an opportunity for me to unwaveringly sound the Israeli position." And former Chief Rabbi of Great Britain, Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, was awarded the 2016 Templeton Prize. The $1.5 million honor recognizes a person who has made an exceptional contribution to affirming life's spiritual dimension. The Pennsylvania-based John Templeton Foundation will award Sacks the prize on May the 26th in London. Sacks served as Chief Rabbi in the UK from 1991 to 2013. Upon the announcement of the prize, Sacks said religion, or more precisely religions, should have a voice in the public conversation within the societies of the West as to how to live, how to construct a social order, how to enhance human dignity, honor human life, and indeed protect life as a whole. He said he would use the prize money to continue his work promoting the voice of religion in that public conversation, as well as promoting mutual respect between religions. Prominent Jewish businessman and philanthropist Bram Goldsmith died on Sunday at the age of 92. Goldsmith, who led City National Bank for 2 decades, was a staunch supporter of Jewish causes and served as national chairman of the UJA, among other Jewish leadership roles. CEO of Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles, Jay Sanderson, told the Jewish Journal that no one in the history of the Jewish community in Los Angeles had left a greater impact or legacy than Goldsmith. The Jewish Federations of North America announced this week that they would distribute $2.8 million in grants to 23 organizations for the care of Holocaust survivors. The funding is made up of an award of $12 million given over the course of 5 years from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It marks the first time in history that the U.S. federal government has directed funding to agencies for social services for Holocaust survivors. Some 100,000 Holocaust survivors live in the U.S. today. Almost 1 in 4 live in poverty. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight, for Wednesday, March the 2nd, at 7:30, Justice Rosalie Abella talks about her parents' Holocaust survival and immigration to Canada. At 8 o'clock, an Israeli athlete who was at the 1972 Munich Olympics, Dan Alon, talks about the hostage-taking and murder of 11 of his teammates in a program of Chabad of Western Monmouth and Holmdel, New Jersey. At 9 o'clock, it's part 2 of Klal President Rabbi Brad Hirschfeld on L'chaim, and at 10, a discussion from the Union for Reform Judaism's recent biennial in Orlando with former URJ President Eric Yaffe, journalist and author Ari Shavit, and Knesset member Stav Shafir. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.